Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special Attract mode. I am DreamTora, and I will be your host for a great majority of this event. This is a very special event. This is a event being put on for Autism Acceptance Month, and it's very near and dear to my heart, so I hope you all enjoy it. Before we get started, I would like to promote what this event is all about, or this showcase is all about. It's a collaboration between Lady Arcaders and Neurogals. Neurogals is a group of neurodivergent women in gaming. I started this group to, raise awareness of women on the spectrum, since there aren't very many groups of neurodivergent women out there. And if you're interested in joining, then feel free to contact me, and I will give you a invite. So, yeah. Anyway, I will be introducing the very first run. The very first run is going to be Darksol with Kirby's Dream Land 2, Best Ending. So, whenever you're ready, Darksol.
Let me go ahead and do time then. 3, 2, 1, go. So, the best way to explain this is there are several islands we have to go through in Dreamland 2. Each of these have what is called a rainbow drop, and we need this to basically repair something. Fight the actual final boss of the game, because it is not DDD. He is simply possessed. If you were here for Wild Kirby lore not too long ago, you might remember that. For now, we have pretty humble beginners. We're just going to be walking through these stages. Our best means of movement hasn't shown up yet, but he will soon.
Also, hi, I'm Charbunny. I'm here as well, just to chat and have fun and watch Kirby games, because Kirby's adorable, in case you didn't know that.
Yeah, somehow I've done the impossible. I got a Kirby game in with several Sonic runs. But
this looks a lot faster.
We still go kind of fast. We get Burn-In here. Burn-In's useful. We're just gonna, dash through this enemy. Conveniently, he also gets Burn-In, so we can just take him out with a double star, take out most of his health, and leave. If you're wondering who is in that weird sack, that is one of the animal friends. His name is Rick. We only care about Rick for one stage.
Doing fine, it's fine. We freed him. We didn't need to stick around and say hi. We got worlds to save, things to do.
Also, you will see that I have actually traded Burn-In for Parasol. That is because, as I mentioned, we need to get rainbow drops in each of these, levels. The first one we find is here, in 1-3, but we actually need Parasol to break the block for it. Each of these are, kind of coded for what they need to be, but they're a little vague if you're new to the game. But we're gonna make our quick ascent up here, just keep jumping, go through that, and here we are. So you see these weird blocks, we just break it with Parasol, grab or drop, and we're good. That's all we have to grab for the world. That's the only, extra, really. That's the main collectible. And now that we're done with that, we're just gonna keep walking with Parasol and hopefully not get hit by this Wallaby. Good, we didn't get hit by the Wallaby.
Very nice.
See if I can't get a little bit more movement with Parasol's little drift. Okay, we're good.
I noticed that we are not at all playing the minigame. I assume it's just slower to try to get to the top tiers.
We just hold A, and it just puts you on the bottom cloud every time. And Whiskey was actually nice. For some reason, had a mask on. We just kind of broke that.
Did Wispy think we wouldn't recognize him?
I don't know. Most of these bosses are some flavor of possessed. So for all we know, something's just weird going on with the mask. Also, I soft reset because after you beat a boss, Kirby does a little dance, which is really neat. It's really cute, but unfortunately it's slower, so we reset the game. Unfortunately, even that's a little bit slower on the version that I'm currently playing. That is because I'm playing this on a Super Game Boy 2. And the main thing this does is it gives, like, different colors to everything. It actually makes the final cutscene of the game really pretty. And that's, like, my primary reason for doing it. But in doing so, it does make the game slower slightly because it takes time to load that information. Also, we finally got our proper, movement. So this is Coo. He looks like an owl. For some reason, he is not actually an owl. I don't know why.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, you don't really need to know much more than that. It just looks like it, as far as I'm concerned. He is an owl. He flies. He flaps the wings. And
Our things owls do, can confirm.
Yeah. Anyways, this happens to be pretty much our fastest movement in the game. So you're going to see this a lot. You're going to hear this song for probably like two-thirds of the run. Aside from the parts where we don't.
It's here until it's not.
Yeah, that's basically the best way to put it. Also, we need Needle for our second rainbow drop. It's actually at the start of the stage, so I'm gonna have to come back in here real quick to grab it. I am not going to talk about how many times I have just sped off into 2-3 and forgot to do that. And lose like 20 seconds because of it.
Speedrunners forgetting crucial items on the rail, that's never happened to anyone before. I don't know. Definitely not me too. It's fine.
By the way, that's probably one of the only times you're going to see Needle in the entire run. There's one other time right near the end, and that's it. Until then, since we don't really need anything explicitly, we're going to grab Cutter, because that is our best damage source, also. Coo for some reason fires 3 feathers, and each of these can actually hit the boss at once. So it does this.
Very nice.
Yeah, so that enemy is called Jumper Shoot. Kind of a weird, like, yokai enemy. One of the only ones I think that's actually that way in the entire series.
I know you mentioned that there's no Sonic, but the hedgehogs do kind of look more Sonic-like in this game than any of the other ones.
I mean, I think the enemy actually is like a sort of hedgehog, but... or... that or a porcupine, but they're kind of similar, I guess.
I'm curious if anyone in the chat is going to have strong opinions about hedgehogs versus porcupines.
We'll see about that. I'm kind of curious. Also, Neurogals here, which is this weird giant boar thing, decided to be nice and give me a very good fight that was kind of impressive. Sonic the Porcupine is my favorite game. Andy, I wouldn't expect anything less from you, just gonna say that now. But yeah, these first few worlds are kind of very quick, because there's only like 3 stages to them. Once we get into level 4, they sort of added like an extra stage to it, so like 4 will have 4 stages, level 5 will have 5, and so on. But right now what we're gonna grab is actually stone. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, we need it for the rainbow drop that comes up in 3-3. The other reason is just to also happen to be like one of our better options in general for getting through things. Like we have like a mini boss that'll be coming up. We're gonna get our more water friendly friend. That's a problem. May have to actually. That's fine. I may have to go back and get stone, but that's okay.
We can fix this. Part of the reason that was a problem is that I believe if you're underwater, you cannot recover your power up the same way you can if you're on land.
Unless you're using Kine, just Kine can inhale underwater.
Oh, that's cool.
Sadly, as you can see, Coo is not kind.
It turns out they're different.
Coo does not look like a fish.
I do notice that sometimes it looks like you sort of go through enemies as you're flying with Coo.
Yes, that is a... So, hitboxes are weird in this game, and the hitbox is still Kirby-sized, but it's trying to factor, like, it's kind of like in between. It's like more Coo than Kirby, but this causes weird shenanigans. I still don't understand fish science. You know what? Neither do I, and I was the one who had to bring up the fact of, oh, Tine only looks like a fish.
It's a very rude jellyfish.
He is. Thankfully, he's gone, and we didn't actually need to worry about health anyway. Thankfully, every time you grab an another animal friend, your health is refilled, and it's actually specific to the animal friend, so like, if I drop Time for some reason, I go back to actually Kirby's health instead.
Okay, sorry, I got very distracted because I wasn't expecting us to actually be swallowed by the fish as part of this transformation. Oh, I see what you mean about being able to inhale underwater, too. This is so cool.
Well, I'm not underwater right now, unfortunately.
Oh, we're on land?
We're on land, and Tyne, literally moves like a fish out of water. which is...
There we go.
Great for immersion, not so much for moving fast, because you have to, like, jump around and get anywhere. I'm gonna play it safe here.
I love how triangular we are on land, too. In the slam stuff.
Well, that's actually stone.
Oh.
Like Kirby transforms into a stone inside a Tyne, and poor Tyne is just not happy about it. Like, you just, like, little tears in his eyes and everything. Like, he is not having a good time about it.
That's so sad. Dang. I mean, yeah, you would think that Kirby would treat his friends nicely, but...
I mean, if you've seen the old commercial for this game, I don't want to talk about it.
I'll say I have not, but now I'm scared to ask. So.
It's from a very weird time.
Got it.
But the reason we wanted Tyne is, one, Tyne is very useful in the water, but imagine how Coo is in the air, that's Tyne here in the water. And we can get through, like, water currents like those. That's the only way we can get through them.
Because this is our next piece, right?
Yes. So, now we're at 3. We still actually want stone, because the boss fight coming up is... Honestly, with Tyne, it's much easier with stone once you know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, the fight gets, very interesting, and I'll leave it at that. Also, we're also just health in the next room, so I'm not too worried about our health at the moment. Instead, I'm just gonna keep swimming.
Keep swimming, just keep... Sorry.
Also, Slippies are mean.
Sorry, I was looking for the eye tears. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to notice, like, depending on what you're playing on. If you're playing it on, like, something with relatively bit screen, like the Super NES or the Switch, because it is on on Switch Online now. Has been for a little while.
You can see all the games come out on that.
Yeah, you can definitely make out the detail with Tyne on those versions. If you're playing this on, like, an actual Game Boy, maybe, if you can, like, see well enough.
I love how Kirby just raises his hand when you get the bottom rung. It's just, yep. I assume he dances if you get the higher ones, but...
Yes. In fact, the song gets longer the higher up you go. It's just that one where it's one note, and it's just like, I did it!
Yep, you got here.
By the way, if you're wondering, this anglerfish is called Sweet Stuff. We don't actually need stone anymore, I'm gonna throw it at him.
Nice.
But yeah, you get underneath them, you just kind of like time your attacks with stone. Stone actually does really good damage, it's just very awkward to use, as you'd expect. Anyways, we just say bye to Tyne for now, so I'll just press select, and he's on.
Just exploded into stars, dang.
He just kind of dismissed him. Honestly, I feel like they just take off on a warp star. That's probably what's actually happening, but Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
That sounds a lot nicer than what I thought was visually happening on screen, so I'm gonna go with that too.
And hopefully this next room doesn't mess with me too badly. It shouldn't. I've had a few times where I have managed to die in here because, oh no, I messed up my movement, Sir Pibble hits me with Cutter, and I'm dead.
Oh gosh.
By the way, he threw a Cutter at me if you didn't notice. That was very, bleak, you'll miss it. Still got my ability back. That's fine, we'll just do it this way. I am not having a good time with this. Alright, Blocky, I see how it is. Get out of here.
Alright, we got him.
Yeah, Blocky is probably one of the worst mini-bosses. Likes to run at you. Can be awkward hit at times depending on the arena in question. The only one I would say is worse than him is another one called, is basically a giant Gordo called Captain Stitch. He gives you Needle.
Oh.
But he's also a giant Gordo, so he can only attack him when he's, when the spikes aren't around him.
Oh, gosh, that sounds annoying.
It can be, especially the, later stages. Also, we'll see if I get a, bit of a jump here that's gonna be a little tricky to do. It's pretty much pixel perfect if I get it. That's fine. I'm gonna try this a couple times with the backup. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna waste more time on that. We'll fight, jump, or shoot. We'll get 2 again. We don't actually need him for more than, like, a room. Unfortunately, 2 is, kinda big, so we don't actually want him for the next room after that. So instead, we'll usually get past the air current. I'm gonna draw fire so I can keep it in my mouth so I don't have to worry about, damage boosting through all of these.
Oh, nice.
If I managed to do this proper, I would just be flying up this with Kirby, and I could just easily deal with all of these with air puffs. And instead, we just do that instead. I don't know why I said that twice, whatever, it's fine.
Oh, that's good.
We're just gonna burn through these. If we needed fire, we could get it in that, door above us. But we don't need it, we already have it.
As I assume these are ice blocks.
Yes, so you actually need, fire to get through them. And if we did want to keep 2, because there is... So I think at any percent you actually... Because at any percent you probably would be keeping them. But... for that we would actually... I think we do actually use Burden for that. And 2 can easily get through, like, the blocks, even though they're, like, double height.
This is one of my personal least favorite Kirby mini-bosses. I'm glad that you did that very fast.
See, I think Mr. Frosty's kinda nice. I just don't like his, Dark Castle version, where he gets, like, a Frost Breath attack, and... It's very easy to just run into it, trying to, like, damage him quickly.
So satisfying to just freeze all the enemies and fling them forward. Just, alright, they're gone.
It's quite useful, especially in this room. These propeller enemies instantly kill your animal friend if they touch you. Thankfully, they are susceptible to ice, so we can also just freeze them and not have to worry about it at all.
Yeah, no kidding. After all the work we go through to get these friends, sheesh.
And now we get fire back, so now we're good for the rainbow drop, because you actually do need fire for that. It's behind a few, ice blocks. But before that, we have our good fire mini-boss again. Just in case you really missed it somewhere. Because it can happen. Also, I finally get to introduce you to, this name's other big thing. Honest Rollers.
Yeah!
There are several of these. There's, like, nothing to do for almost any of them.
Yay!
I still remember, I think, one of the GDQs, his name got in, and, like, the person was like, so I heard you like Honest Rollers every time they came up. And if this were one of those marathons, this would be like, okay, this is perfect for donations, because there is actually nothing going on. But this is not one of those marathons. So I would have instead it would have been like, hey, is there anything to plug for Lady Arcaders, maybe?
Well, it sounds like we'll have more chances if there's more auto-scrollers coming up.
Oh, there are definitely more. For some reason, this game and Dreamland 3, the one that came after it, love auto-scrollers.
Ow.
Also, this is dev intended. They legit expect you to drop the ability and held the block.
Yeah, it's a little esoteric for Kirby, but if it works, it works.
Also, we're just gonna carry Kind and Fire because it's surprisingly good for damage. For like bosses, it does 1 unit of health per hit.
How many health do bosses usually have?
12.
Okay.
Also, see Valeria called it thrilling gameplay. Yeah, I've heard it called that as well. By the way, this is Ice Dragon. He's very cute. He actually does lots of ice things. That is not normally the move I see him use. So that's gonna slow things down a little bit, but we're fine. I'm gonna just.
Oh gosh.
Okay, you only got 1 hit left. He's fine.
There we go. Those some fancy dancing moves there to get around him, though.
Yeah, that's the first time I think I've seen him jump at the start of the fight. Every time he just runs at me, and then maybe stops so he can start doing frost breath, and that's it. This time he's like, I'm gonna hover.
Right. Let's just mix things up for today. Why not?
Mix things up. Actually, JB, that's never happened before, which I didn't think that would happen in this, but okay then.
Got one anyway.
But we'll see if that happens in any of the other runs today.
Alright, we made it to level 5. Are the levels, like, distinctly different? Have different themes and everything? Or are they kind of similar?
Kind of. Level 3 is very, like, water themed, obviously. Level 4 was ice themed. Some of you you may or may not have heard when I'm in the overworld, and that's exclusive to playing it on Super Game Boy. Level 3 actually has, like, waves crashing. Level 4 has, like, the howl of, like, the wind.
Oh, that's cool.
You also very briefly hear on, like, the title screen, there's, like, an applause going on the entire time.
Is there any special theme for level 5 then, or is this one more just platform?
This one's very mountainous, so obviously that's kind of the big theme of it.
Is this where we get the Goron boss? Because that would be kind of neat.
I think Chapter 6 does show up in this, sort of in this world.
I'm looking forward to seeing that one since you hyped it up a bit earlier.
Yeah, I'll also add, a few of these have some, interesting nicknames, but I'm not going to be saying them.
Fair. Burning is such a powerful ability in so many Kirby speedruns. Just go to the right, be invincible. That's a really great way to go fast.
Yeah, also, so this is YU. I don't need fire anymore. We're gonna actually want Coder for a bit here. Because it's a good friend, the auto-scroller. Ow.
One of these.
The Broom Hatter wasn't happy with me and decided I needed to be punished.
No. Alright. Well, we said we would. So, DreamTora, is there anything you'd like to promote for Lady Arcaders for the event today? Anything like that?
Glad you asked. As a reminder, this is a tracked mode where neurodivergent ladies are showing off their favorite games, and this is also promoting the group Neurogals. Neurogals is taking over for a track mode in celebration of Autism Acceptance Month. Neurogals is a neurodivergent women's gaming collective. The event will feature neurodivergent ladies celebrating and showing off their differences and talents, as well as a game they love. If you're a neurodivergent gal who wants to join the Neurogals community, just send a DM my way. Slide into my DMs, if you will.
That is certainly a way to put it. Also, Fight 3 is a very important stage because we can get any animal friend we want, and if we ever need another animal friend, we just go there.
Very nice.
Most of the time. There are exceptions to it, but generally, if we really need one, Fight 3 lets us do it, like, sort of the stage, and we don't waste too much time beyond having to go there in the first place. For now, though, we want 2, so we can, like, play around, because there's a lot of vertical movement here, and Coo obviously just trivializes it.
Yeah, I like how now that we're not freezing the angry propeller enemies, you can see them starting to home in on us as we pass by.
Yeah, they absolutely are out for blood at every opportunity, and the last thing you want is that to hit you, because it is just bad news when it happens. I'm not sure why Nightbots hit that twice, but okay.
Nightbot's just excited to promote Neurogals, I guess. Nightbot is very excited to slide into your DMs, yes.
Yeah, there we go. Also, that was Captain Stitch. We just kind of one-cycled it.
Very nice. Hi, Captain Stitch.
He'll show up, I think, he'll show up a couple more times in the run.
When these particles are on screen, is there actually wind blowing that's moving you faster?
Yes, that is actually wind. Like on these bubbles, that's a water current.
I appreciate that they're making you go faster in this case.
They are, and Vernon lets us kind of get through the enemies like we need to. Now you have some that are throwing us upward, so I just keep doing this until I hit the wall.
I love strategies that are that straightforward to remember, because sometimes in speedrun you got all this complicated stuff you've got to remember, like hit this button, then this one, then do this, and don't do this in the wrong order, and sometimes it's just like, just keep hitting this button, it's fine.
Oh, don't worry, doing things in the right order shows up much later. Well, not even much later, it's going to be a couple of worlds from now. Anyways, here's the one and only time we actually want Rick.
Let's go, Rick.
So, the reason for this is the rainbow drop here needs spark, but the way that the brim is set up is if you try to do it with Kirby, you will probably die trying to hit it. Cause it's like over a pit, and it's just far enough away that you can't use hit it otherwise. But what can hit it is Rick with spark, because for some reason that is just the beam ability. And that does have enough reach to hit the block.
I gotta say, now that we've seen both Rick and Rue, and Kirby just piggyback riding, carrying, I feel so much worse for the fish. Like, the fish really got the short end of this deal.
I don't know, for all I know, Tyne actually likes it, but I'm not sure if I want to, I'm not sure if I want to think about that one.
That's fair.
But also, I don't know where Kirby would go other than baby the bat in the water. That's gonna be awkward.
Normally see holding onto the top fin, right? Like, that's the classic I'm riding a fish pose in video games.
I mean, yes, but Kirby's also like 8 inches tall, and the animal friends are probably just a little bit bigger.
True. Kirby's adorably sized.
Kirby is Kirby sized. But here's what I'm talking about. Rick makes that so much easier. You can do it without him. You can just do it with Kirby, but it is very difficult, and you will still probably die if you don't do it just right. It is simply easier to just beam through the blocks and go through it that way. And to be honest, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh, we have stone now. That makes this a lot faster, I see.
Makes it faster. We also want it for the next boss, for damage reasons.
Got it.
Unfortunately, this is probably one of the harder bosses in general. Just one we need Tyne again. And it's gonna be faster to just go ahead and get him now and then come back for him. But this also makes this boss very, tricky, because we have to be, like, on top of them. And if we're off by even, like, a pixel or something, we won't hit. We actually won't hit them that well.
Dang. It's definitely classic Kirby boss right here, though.
Yes. Now, as long as Mr. Shine,
Rude.
you know, as long as Mr. Bright plays nice, there we go.
GG. Alright, that was good.
That fight tends to be really rough. I've had runs where I've lost kind there and I had to reset the gem back.
Oh dang. Cloudy.
Yeah, because you run out of help with the animal friend, they just leave. You don't actually die or anything. But you do lose kind, and we need him for the next rainbow drop, which actually is coming up very soon. It's actually only in 6-2, and we're fine.
I love cloud platforming as a fish.
Oh
good
yeah,
dodge
after
on
a while the
that
propeller will actually do that, and thankfully I was prepared for it. But yeah, there's health there as long as I do that correctly.
Just shoot a light bulb out.
Yeah, yes. So kind has some interesting ways to attack, and most of them involve his mouth. For Spark, he just takes out a light bulb. This actually lights up dark rooms, but it never shows up because we don't really care about it. But fun fact, for anyone who knows the puzzle at the end of level 7, the Fitability puzzle, Spark will actually light up the room before all of that and show you the exact order that you need. So if you are concerned with it, you can actually take kind in with the light bulb and watch it that way and find out what you need. In my case, I've got it memorized, so we should be fine.
Just in case, we do know where our client is.
In the meantime, though, we're taking ice so we get through this a lot easier, plus we actually need it for these blocks here. Those can only be broken by ice. And time's really only very temporary. We need him to get in here, we need him to swim through this current. And as soon as we get to this mini-boss, we're just gonna drop him, we don't need him anymore. But thank you for the help. And that is the last time we will see Tyne in this run.
Aw, dang. That's okay. Got a lot of help from him.
As Kirby just freezes out Master Spark here. Wow, okay.
Rude.
Just very rude on that one. Just blocks my attack like I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was playing basketball with a jellyfish. Just blocks my shot.
I can't tell if that's like easier or harder than against a human, because you would think that they're a little bit slower on the court given that it's on land, but at the same time they've got a lot of arms to block things.
And that's why we actually went in that room. We needed Spark so we could break the blocks and get Coo, who could fly through these air currents, and get into this room, where we actually get the ability we need for this drop. We actually need Cutter. Which is very convenient, because we want Cutter after this anyway.
But when things work out like that.
And ideally, we don't have to worry about switching abilities anymore. The only time we will after this is going to be in level 7. So from now, from here on, this kinda turns into 80%. Because we got in everything else that we need right now, well, actually, no, I've lied. There is gonna be some moments where we don't have Cutter, but it's gonna ultimately end in we have Cutter.
Sounds like a plan.
And in fact, we actually got Cutter in, like, the next room.
I feel like they would get Coo for the Cloud World, though, because it would have felt kind of sad not to.
Yeah, 80%, the main difference is that we just use Coo throughout the run instead of having to switch off. But that's because we don't have the rainbow drops, we just go for the, like, the... I don't know if I want to call it the bad ending, but just a, you definitely didn't do the thing mission, ending. So dark matter is still a problem, TM.
Are there other categories as well, or are those the main 2 ones for this game?
There are 3. There's any percent, there's this one, best ending, and then there's 100%. And the main difference between this one and 100 and Hundo is after each boss, there's a mini game that you can actually play to get extra lives. You have to complete each of those with a perfect.
Oh.
And you also have to get what we tend to call Gooey Girl if you're playing on the Japanese version like I am, though. It is actually like another like character cameo from some other game. I don't remember it offhand. But that also counts towards 100% completion. So you have to get that once.
Got it.
The only way they show up is okay. So pretty much when you get an animal friend, if you get a sack that already has them, you'll instead see Gooey. So Gooey actually debuted in this game, not Dreamland 3. But most of the time, Gooey will show up. He gives you like one health.
Wow, 1 health. Thank you.
Rarely, you'll instead get the other thing that you need for 100% completion, and that one will give you a 1-up.
Oh, that's much nicer.
Yeah, but it's like a very low chance to show up. I recently did like a 100% run on Switch that did like just to get the file, and I think it took me like 3 minutes of farming in 4-1 to actually get her to show up.
Oh gosh.
By the way, we would have done a Coo in that one. That one's actually random.
Oh, how do you know then?
Because Dewey shows up, that meant it would have given us Coo.
Ah, okay.
We already have him. We already have him. The game can't give us him again. So instead, Dewey shows up.
Have to preserve the continuity that there's only 1 of each.
Pretty much. Unless it's Star Allies, then for some reason, there just absolutely be 4 of them.
Same goes for Kirby too, I guess. Most of the time there's 1 Kirby, until there's not 1 Kirby, and then there's a lot of Kirbys.
Yeah, so sometimes up to 10.
Oh gosh, that's a lot of Kirby.
It's fine, they're all like 1/10 the size. And now it's time to damage boost, because these Fordos cannot be, we can't deal with them. We just have to get through them somehow, and this is the best, ow. We didn't need that last one.
It's fine.
The size of a great, yeah, that's pretty much. I don't know of anybody that would complain if there were 10 Kirbys.
I think the problem if I had 10 Kirbys is I would start with 10 Kirbys, and at some point I would only have 9, and I would have no idea where the last Kirby is, and no way to find it. Like, I'm already picturing that horror scenario in my head.
Maybe don't play Mass Attack then.
Fair enough. I know, I've most recently just been playing the, Return to Dreamland Deluxe. That's been so much fun, though.
I've been doing a bunch of True Arena runs of that lately.
Oh gosh, that's the one thing I haven't done, is I've gotten everything else in the game except the arena fights, because I'm so impatient with the bosses. Which is not exactly how you're supposed to stay alive for 18 boss fights in a row.
If you want like an easy one that might help, maybe Spark. To usually stay like away from the enemies.
That's a good point, because I've been using Sand because you can be invincible, but then...
I mean, Sand is also really good.
But it's not working, so I should try something else, so maybe Spark will be what I need. I'm still not over the little, like, wave. Just the 1 note at the end of each of these mini-games.
Oh, I've had someone in, like, even in my, like, stream chat, they just, like, really funny to just hear the 1 note. And honestly, it kind of is, because it's just so, like, yeah, here you go, I guess. Yay.
That's, like, I don't know, participation trophy-esque thing I've seen in a video game in a long time. It's like, here, you tried. Here's a sticker.
By the way, that also gave us 2. That's also random, so, if this were any percent, that would have been amazing RNG, but this is not any percent, so we don't even care.
We can still celebrate quietly. It's fine.
Also, it's our good friend, Underwater with Coo, and lots of Slippies. don't ask me why they're called that, and don't ask me why Nintendo has, 2 frog enemies called frog characters called Slippy.
I was going to ask if they're related or if that was just your name for them, but now Nintendo's just like,
no,
that is
actually their name.
Love that. Chat, if you got to name a frog enemy in a video game, what would your best frog video game name be? Do you have one that comes to mind?
Honestly, not really.
I feel like
it's certainly not Slippy because I've had way too many experiences with the enemies here.
Got it. Fair enough. We saw this the other week, how just frog enemies are weirdly common in video games. Like, that's just a thing that so many platforming games have as an enemy. It's weird, because it's not a thing that shows up a lot in other places. But no, video games and frogs. You know, name a better combo.
By the way, so this is Krakow. He actually has 2 phases. And this is actually probably one of the scariest versions of the fight to exist. Just it's very easy to just take lots of hits from Krakow, just move it around like he does. He's actually surprisingly quick.
I like how he rolls his eyes. Also,
yeah, I'm actually watching for that to finish because he has a lot more invincibility than the others.
Ah, got it.
But I can skip that.
When I was younger,
I thought about just letting it play. I was like, nah.
No, we gotta go fast. When I was younger, I used to think that that's what rolling your eyes meant, is you literally move them in a circle. I didn't realize that you just put them upward. And my mom would get so mad at me. She'd be like, stop rolling your eyes at me. I'd be like, I'm not! I couldn't understand the difference.
Oh, I've had that happen several times for kind of the same reason, or just do it without even noticing I've even done it in the first place.
That too.
Also had relatives get mad at me about it a couple times. So that was fine.
Also, shoutouts to chat names for frogs. We have Lily, Ham, and Dr. Frog, which are all fantastic. Oh, and I think is how you pronounce that. I don't know if I got that right. Is the letter B and L repeated many times?
Close enough. Now I actually want to hear people actually say that. That sounds interesting. Maybe. Also, Dr. Frog could equally be like an evil doctor, or could be like an actual doctor with like the white coat and everything.
That sounds fantastic somehow. I'm kind of intrigued by this Dr. Frog now.
There's also the frog from like Terror Blaster. I don't remember if they have a name though.
Every time you finish, I have to not laugh at this. It's just...
Yeah, so Dark Castle has 2 gimmicks. The first is that each of the levels are kind of mirrored. Like the first 3 or one setup, the second 3 or the same thing in reverse, mostly. And there is a mini boss at the end of each stage, based on one of the game's abilities. So we just fought Fire. The one that we'll be fighting at the end of this one is Spark. And it'll just go in order through each of them. Each of them are also harder versions than the ones that we found earlier.
Ooh. How many abilities are in the game? Do you know?
Do what?
How many abilities are in the game?
There are 7.
Okay.
It is, if I have it correct, it is Fire, Spark, Cutter, Needle...
With Ice.
Yeah.
Stone?
Ice, Stone, and... Oh, jeez, I hate that I'm blanking on it now. This is, like, the worst time to blank on it.
I mean, I don't know either, so we could just have fun with it. What would be your ideal last ability? Let's make one up. It's okay, no one will know the difference.
Yeah, it says I will know the difference.
It's Butterfly.
Honestly,
Chat, prove us wrong. You don't have to actually prove us wrong, it's okay.
Also, I need to be careful in this room. There's actually several of those propellers. If I go down the wrong... start going too close to the wrong path, they activate, and then I, do not have the room to get away from them, if I'm being honest. Blank, my favorite Kirby ability. I mean, normal Kirby is technically an ability. It is the lack of one.
There we go.
So technically, okay, so technically there's 8. Oh, by by the way, so this auto-scroller shows up again, and you remember how I said it goes in reverse? Yeah, so all of this is on the test.
Oh gosh.
By the way, this is the version of Frosty I don't like, and that is the entire reason I don't like him. And he just did it in the other direction.
Gosh. Of course. Why not? Twice as
What
nice.
on earth? Why did you do 3?
A very interesting thing.
I swear they're actually trying to kill Coo here for once. Most of the time, they're not a problem. But anyways, that's the first set, and now it is time to take it back now.
Alright, you liked it the first time. Time for the repeat. Let's go.
Yeah, also it's a slightly harder version, so like instead you have these sort of pibbles, you have the meta knights. Yeah, so for example, Sword Knight, Mace Knight, Axe Knight.
Do all of those give butter in this game, or are they distinct?
No, they give you nothing because you can't even inhale them.
Wow, rude.
And even in the games where you can, they also give nothing.
Dang.
That is probably because they are just carrying a weapon. They are not giving you, they do not actually have an ability of sorts.
Back to Ninja.
Back to Y. Yep. Hi, YU. Don't kick me.
Very nice. Yeah, the 3 hits from the cutter really speed things up.
Yes, yeah, so because of that, that's why that boss takes, like, a bunch of damage instead of just, like, a hit. Each cutter is actually- okay, that's fine. We'll get it back in a later room. Normally, as long as you hold down, you're fine. I hesitated slightly, so I got hit.
I love these little gallery rooms in Kirby games. Oh, Parasol! That was the last one.
Yeah, there we go. Now, I feel like there's another Kirby runner that's gonna be upset at me now.
So that was a lot to do live while you're also trying to, speedrun the game. I just think the rooms where they show you all the enemies are really cool, so that's kind of fun. Little enemy galleries in Kirby games are always adorable.
By the way, 1 health is kind of bad. Especially with Blocky here. I do not want to lose 2 here. Nope! Okay.
Dang it.
That's okay. That's not great.
Do we go back to the previous world then?
I will, yeah, I'm gonna go to fight 3 and I'll go back. That's fine.
Okay.
Just kind of unfortunate. It loses me like a minute. Or at least like 30 seconds.
That's okay.
Also, I'm gonna do a little buddy combo. So if you press A and then hold A and then press up, down, up, and then let go of it, you do like a special animation that takes you to the top cloud every time.
We got the dance! I didn't think we'd get to see it! I'm excited about that.
I only do that if I absolutely need the health refill, and this is the wrong roll.
Just want to say hi to the volcano again, it's fine.
That's fine, we get to see, like, the brief moments of these cutscenes. By the way, definitely play this game casually, the cutscenes are honestly, pretty good.
Cutscenes in Kirby games are usually pretty fun. I like how fast that fight is, too. Just like, alright, cool, we're out. We got a bird.
Yeah, thankfully they also just give you, like, 1 enemy, and they're easy to deal with most of the time.
Alright, back to 7.
Yeah, if I had survived that with 2, I would have still done the, cloud stage anyways, since that would give me back to full health. Or maybe, because there is a pet room in this room, I would have probably just grabbed it. But, okay. Yeah, unfortunately, Blocky is kind of a painful fight. Also, as I said, this was on the test, so I hope you remembered 7-3, because now we are doing it in reverse.
Oh gosh. At least you only have to remember 1 thing for 2 levels? That's efficient, maybe?
Also it's actually relatively simple. Like, if you want an easy version, it is top, bottom, top, bottom. If you're feeling spicy, it is top, bottom, middle, bottom.
Oh.
Because this also just lets you go through. I say as I take a mace to the face. You know what? I deserve that.
You gotta put a little bit of spicy in. I think that was good.
I deserve that for trying to showboat. Just a tiny bit.
It's an event run. I think showboating is exciting and perfect for these types of things.
And here is Captain Stitch again. This one's much worse, since he's actually really fast, and he spends less time before he respawns his spikes.
I'm glad our attacks don't require us to lose our only form of protection every time we use them.
I'm just glad he does something at all, because it's a Gordo. You can't damage them otherwise.
Right?
If he never throws the spikes, we would never be able to win.
You just get to that room in the video game, second to last, third to last level, and it's like, yeah, good luck. You can't win this.
Yeah, also he moves really fast. I've actually had him, like, outrun me with Coo and actually just slam into me for no reason.
Wow.
Also, it is now time for the fun puzzle.
Oh.
So, each of these rooms have, like, 2 things that can be hit. Make sure I did the right one. You have to do this in a certain order, and you will actually get the rainbow drop immediately near you if you do. So, we had fire, we had stone, we did needle nest, the one we did after this is ice, and then finally cutter, conveniently.
That works out well.
Works out very nicely, because we want cutter at the end of this anyway. So, there's cutter. And there's our final rainbow drop.
Is this where you would learn what the different blocks are if you hadn't gotten the other rainbow?
You would learn that kind of from the course of playing the game, especially if you're going for the drops, because you would have hit each of them by this point anyways.
Ah, okay, got it.
Also, I forgot to move in time, because, yeah, they just drop jumper shoot on top of you.
Just a little bit rude. Called an ambush. Very impolite.
And we are finally done with Coo. We don't need him anymore.
Hi, Coo.
To be fair, we wouldn't be able to take him into the next fight. The game made sure that's not a thing you can do, by making it where you can't get through here.
Oh.
You have to do this as Kirby and Kirby alone. By the way, here's DDD. He's possessed. Surprise.
Surprise.
He's also sleeping a lot for some reason. Anyways, the reason we take Cutter is Cutter does the most damage that we do have access to with Kirby. Every 4 Cutters is 1 unit of health for him.
Because his health on the bottom of the screen. Just slowly ticking down, we're getting there.
Ideally, we want him to, like, jump where we can actually capitalize on it, because stars do more damage. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, double stars also do too, if you were wondering. I'm gonna... and now DDD is mad.
Understandable.
So a lot of his attacks now have explosions. He moves a lot faster, and thankfully he's almost dead.
Wow, very nice.
Yeah, I think it's like 60 or 90 seconds after the battle starts, he will enrage like that, and good luck.
Dang. Oh.
Now, if this were any percent, that's where the game ends, and you just did like a thing showing off the enemies. In this one, you said find that the drops make a sword, and dark matter swords coming out. Like, oh, you're not. Oh, yeah. Now he's trying. Now
the sword just carries you away like a rocket ship.
Yeah, so this is Dark Matter, or Dark Matter Blade, as he kind of gets called in Rubberbot with his, but he finally, like, gave, like, a new version of that fight. He primarily attacks with beams, and this one attack that works like playing tennis. We can also slice him with the sword, but he has a lot of health, so it takes, like, 5 hits to actually take down 1 unit. Okay, that's kind of a bad reflect, but that's okay. Now, second phase, we're gonna actually, we're gonna do a fair bit of attacking with the sword, but we're also gonna come behind them and hit them with those. Those do a lot of damage.
Just watching the health, it's like, oh gosh, come on, you can do it.
And time will be, when I get this last hit, it should be 2 more hits. Yeah, there we go, time.
Yay, congratulations!
And this is the big reason that I wanted to run it on the Super Game Boy, is this part is like basically full color.
Oh.
And it's actually easily probably the prettiest part of the entire game.
Look at all the friends!
Yeah, like this part looks like it would belong on like a Game Boy Color, and I kind of wish they would have like done like a DS version for it, but they never did. I think they planned on it. I think it was something they thought about doing, and they canceled it.
Oh, come on, wake up!
But yeah, you get this. This part isn't really as much in color. It's the bits afterwards that does. But I guess in the meantime, since I gotta wait for that to finish, let me go ahead and give a shout out to the Kirby community at large. There's a lot of good people, a lot of good runners within it. If you ever want to learn this game or any others in the series, definitely feel free to join, look for the Discord. We would be happy to have you. You can find it at speedrun.com/Kirby. Pretty much any of the names will have the link there. Also, in the meantime, I want to go ahead and give a small shout out to DreamTora and both Lady Arcaders and Neurogals. Neurogals is relatively new, but it's been a nice community. Same for Lady Arcaders. They've been around for a little while. And this is the scene I was talking about. This actually looks really good on this version. If you play this on like almost any other, it's in grayscale, and it's still nice, but it's not as good. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. I guess for where you can find me, I stream on Twitch, obviously, twitch.tv/Darksol188. I do lots of Kirby, I do some Pokemon stuff, and I kind of try to dabble in just other things in general. I've been trying to branch out a little bit more. So yeah, hope to see you there, potentially. But otherwise, I think that's it for this day. I think we're good for the next one, so thank you for having me. Enjoy the rest of the runs.
Alright, thank you so much for that run, Dark Soul. We are actually going to be refreshing the stream, so sit tight, and we will be right back.